Hello, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Impact Money Show. You're watching on your TVs in Texas and Louisiana, soon to be many more states, as well as joining from around the world on X and Facebook and Instagram and all the other places that continue to allow us to stream on there. No, we're pretty good these days. We're pretty good. Yeah, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. We had a great Thanksgiving. Entering a new point in our life. We have not hosted a Thanksgiving for quite a while, actually, and we hosted yesterday, had the family over, and really was a nice time. We had a very nice time. Very nice time. I hope you guys did too. Lots of turkey and good conversation and lots of family and all those types of things. That's really what, these holidays are all about. And I don't know about you guys. We kept it light. Trump won. There's no reason to rub it in everyone's faces, right? I just wore my Trump sweater. No, I'm just kidding. No, we kept it light, and it was very nice to see family. I have to say, everybody's pretty excited about the way that the economy is looking. The monetary expectations over the next 4 years, few years, 10 years, 5 years is absolutely amazing. People are super excited about the United States and what's going to happen here, whether it's my family who I was with yesterday or people from around the world. They're all very excited about the optimism that we all feel with Trump. Now, that isn't to say that Trump isn't out of the woods. Of course, Putin has given several speeches over the last bit, warning of nuclear war, warning of the need for peace, and saying that he can get that peace with Trump. He respects Trump, and he'll work with Trump. But he also told them that Trump is in danger. Trump is in danger, and of course we know that. Now we see he's got this wonderful place, Mar-a-Lago, where they are all stationed out there. That must be a lot of fun to be there right now. These are revolutionary times. I don't know I don't know how much will change. You see the cabinet picks just as much as I do. I don't like to Monday morning quarterback them too much. Some of them are good. Some of them aren't good. What are you going to say? Of course, Matt Gaetz seeing him go was a real bummer. The new attorney general, I don't think she'll do much. She's pretty and she's probably real nice, but I don't think she's going to do much. The thing about it is that it's like Elon said over the last couple of days. He said that you are, basically that it's going to be hard. It's going to be rough because the deep state, the people in charge, are not going to want to remove themselves. You know what I mean? Like Trump, Elon, and these are the guys who are pushing change. And there's people here in Washington, they don't want change. They don't want change, right? I mean, no way. That they don't want that. If that clip's here, I'm going to pull it up for you real quick. He says it here we go. The reactions of the system will be severe, he says. The reactions of the system will be severe. Let's pop that on real quick. Part of my opening monologue with the great Elon Musk. Here we go. Oh, what happened here? Here we go. I lost it. Hold on here. Hold on. Here we go. I'm not sure what happened there. Here he is. Major changes. All right, here we go.
If we have a great president like Donald Trump, who's willing to make major changes, and it's difficult because the system will fight you. The system's not going to be like, oh yeah, no, totally, we're totally happy being smaller. that will not be like the sort of antibody reaction of the system will be quite severe. But you have to have that mandate from the president, and we need a real president, not a puppet. If we have a great president like Donald Trump, who is willing to.
We need a real president, not a puppet. Now, of course, it remains to be seen how it'll all play out, guys. I think obviously there's wheeling and dealing going on. And whatever happens, we're going to be a lot better off than we were. You can see now the people that are still clinging to power are full force into war around the world. They claim a truce or a peace, whatever they want to call it, a stalemate or whatever over there in Lebanon, yet they are blocking people from going back to their homes. Meanwhile, headed over into Syria, you have Israel and Turkish-backed militants attacking Aleppo as we speak. They're wearing Ukraine yellow and blue. They're wearing ISIS patches. As far as I can see, this is what I see. And I guess they trained in Turkey. War is big, big business, as we always talk about. So that's going on over there. Of course, as we were all eating turkey and enjoying our family, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. There's a lot of stuff. Of course, then you have Putin. Putin has, in Russia, they have sent a really harsh response. I wouldn't say it's out of line response, but a harsh response to Ukraine. And I'll tell you what, I've been looking at some of the weapons that Russia has. And, you know, when I was a kid, the kind of joke was Soviet Union, you know, they had all this stuff, but it didn't work. I don't know if the stuff works or not, but I'll tell you what, that's some bad stuff. There's some bad stuff in this world. I mean, we're going from the Chinese have the dogs, these now robot mechanical dogs, and these things are bad dudes. These are bad dudes, man. Oh, this is funny. I'm getting to the dogs, but so Grok just insists that I am a black man. I say, give me a picture of Bruce Porter Jr. on the Impact Money Show, Bitcoin or whatever. And I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I tell Grok. Grok insists that I am a black man. I'm a brother. I'm a brother from another mother. Grok still thinks I'm black. I said, I tell them I'm Caucasian, European man, but he doesn't care. To Grok, I'm black. This is funny. Are you ready for round two? Since we are the media now, can we get into these White House press briefings? This is pretty funny. This is worth it.
Between you people, don't talk to me that way. You're just a lightweight. Don't talk to me that way. I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way.
Go ahead, take the. Well, I'll give you voters. I will give you voter suppression. You just have to sit down, please. Sit down. I didn't call you. Okay, question? Yeah, go ahead. Sure. She's shocked that I picked her.
No.
It's like in a state of shock.
I'm not thinking, Mr.
That's
President.
okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. How many cases were in the United States when I did my ban? How many people had died in the United States?
So do you acknowledge that you didn't think
Keep your voice down, please. Keep your voice down.
Do you want him to rein in Robert Mueller?
What a stupid question that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
You didn't let me ask my question.
You've been asking a question for 10 minutes, so please sit down.
The argument is that you bought yourself some time. You didn't use it to prepare hospitals. You didn't use it to ramp up testing. Right now,
You're so disgraceful.
Unemployed.
It's so disgraceful the way you say that. Look. You know you're a fake. You know that. Your whole network, the way you cover it, is fake. And most of you, and not all of you, but the people are wise to you. That's why you have a lower approval rating than you've ever had before, times probably 3.
What do you say the Americans were scared, though? I guess nearly 200 dead, 14,000 who are sick, millions, as you witnessed, who are scared right now. What do you say to Americans who are watching you right now who are scared?
I say that you're a terrible reporter. That's what I say. Go ahead.
You've said repeatedly that you think that some of the equipment that governors are requesting, they don't actually need. You said New York might not need 30,000. You said it on Sean Hannity's Fox News. You said,
why don't you people act? Let me ask you.
You said
why don't you act in a little more positive? It's always trying to get you. And you know what? That's why nobody trusts the media anymore.
My question to you is, how is that going to impact?
You didn't hear me. That's why you used to work for the Times and now you work for somebody else. Look, let me tell you something. Be nice.
Between you people, don't.
Folks, he's coming back. He'll be back. He's in rare form. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. These robotic dogs powered by AI and armed with weapons. I would rather not have to deal with one of these. Look at these things. Oh, my Lord. I mean, that is definitely, I would not want to have to run into one of these bad boys. And I talk about it all the time. I'm sure they don't want to die, right? That's kind of one of those things I talk about. Robots don't want to die. This is pretty funny, too. This is almost worth a watch. Maybe I'll pull back to it because I want to show you something else here. Look at this weapon here that Russia has. This is
Satan is the name of the Russian intercontinental ballistic missile. It is in every respect the most powerful missile in the world, weighing more than 210 tons and over 34 meters long. The missile system with this ICBM is designed to hit all kinds of targets, including those protected by modern missile defenses. The flight speed of this missile reaches more than 5 miles per second, which provides it with the ability to fly from Moscow to New York in 18 minutes. An important advantage is the ability to use separable warheads and maneuverable monoblock warheads. On board, one missile can be 10 warheads with a power of 55 kilotons, and then the missile can fly 7,000 miles, which is almost equal to the diameter of the Earth. If 10 such warheads attack New York City, it would have a target area of more than 1,000 square miles and would kill about 5 million people. Or there could be one more powerful nuclear warhead on board, 20 megatons, in which case the missile could travel 10,000 miles, which exceeds the diameter of the Earth by as much as a third. If a 20 megaton nuclear warhead attacks New York, it could look like this. A massive nuclear explosion would kill about 5 million people, and the fallout would travel up the entire coast and reach the Canadian border. The power of a salvo by a division of the Strategic Missile Forces armed with Satan is equal to the 13,000 bombs detonated at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. 15 missiles of the complex were guaranteed to destroy the entire industrial potential of the United States.
Yeah. So and here we are, meanwhile, just going on and on about, we're beating our, this is very optimistic, actually. Russia has redefined the game for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies by recognizing them as property, thus exempting them from tax. This is big news. The upper house has given the nod, and the bill is now on its way to President Putin for the final stamp of approval. This legislative shift could propel Russia into a new era of crypto adoption and innovation, echoing the global trend towards embracing digital currencies. I wouldn't be surprised if they have already bought and are buying more of Bitcoin and other. It's not just Bitcoin as well now, since Bitcoin is so expensive. Now, was this your Thanksgiving? Oh, wait, I can't play that because YouTube will mark me for playing music that I'm not supposed to play. So this is big news right here. As you know, and as Elon's been saying, we are the media now. We are the media now. And I'll pull this off. These are the crying. Grok gave these to me. These are the crying journalists. These are crying journalists right here. Okay. What are they crying about? What they're crying about, the European Federation of Journalists, EFJ, which represents 320,000 crying liberal journalists, has decided to end their propaganda careers, pushing them into total obscurity. Here's what's happening. The decision to depart, the EFJ has decided to cease all official posts on X starting on January 20th, 2025, which is when Trump gets inaugurated. This move comes in the wake of widespread concerns over the platform's management of disinformation and its role in shaping public discourse. This reminds me, guys, of everybody trying to stop Bitcoin. That's what this reminds me of. You can't stop X, guys. You can't stop freedom of information. You can try. Reason behind the move. The decision reflects a broader sentiment among the European media outlets and journalist organizations about ethical implications of engaging on X. That's growing consensus that the platform, under its current ownership and management, has become a conduit of misinformation and propaganda. How dare the people have a platform that they can speak the truth on? How dare they? Wider implications, the action by the EFJ is not isolated. It echoes similar moves by other notable media entities like The Guardian, which also decided to stop posting on X due to its toxic environment. The shift away from X indicates a critical juncture for social media platforms in Europe, where regulatory pressure and public scrutiny are intensifying. The community response on X reactions vary. Some applaud the EFJ's stance against disinformation, seeing it as a stand for journalism and integrity. Others speculate that this could be an attempt to regain the narrative control in an area where independent voices are increasingly prominent on such platforms. What's next for EFJ? While stopping official posts, individual journalists, personal or independent reporting, the EFJ plans to redirect their digital engagement strategies towards platforms that align more closely with their ethical standards and goals for media integrity. Media integrity. This move by the EFJ highlights ongoing debate about the role of social media and journalism and the freedom of information, especially in the context of recent political events and upcoming changes in global censorship. Pretty interesting. So they're basically just taking themselves out of it. I wonder if they will go through. With it. Really, it's one of those things. I mean, you can post stuff on Facebook and you get stuff, and you can post stuff on Instagram and, TikTok and these other ones. But really the only place, and it's still not really totally freedom of speech. Not totally. Okay. It's like the CEO says, freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach. Right. So they still kind of shadow ban you and stuff like that. If you talk about the things that you're not supposed to talk about. Anyway, we appreciate the platform. We like it a lot. It is very, very good for us. We're going to talk about the markets here. I have the great Matt Dixon with me.
Hello.
Sir Matt, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Good to see you. Yeah,
nice to see you as well. I feel pretty nice after our Thanksgiving feast here in the U.S.
Oh yeah, congratulations. Hope that was all good. I'm sure it was.
We had a great time. I hosted the family this time. Instead of going over to my in-laws or wherever else, we had them over here. So it was a little bit more work, but it was great. A lot of fun.
Beautiful. Amazing. Yeah. Good. Let's get into the markets. I've shared my screen. I'll just jump into the I'm going to oh dear. Let's just see. I hope you can see that.
Yes, sir. Looking at the DXY chart, the US dollar.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of ties in a little bit with yesterday, but also a bit with what you're saying. I mean, I've been reading a bit about these weapons that Russia supposedly have. And I say supposedly, I mean, clearly they do have frightening weaponry that could absolutely devastate the world. I mean, what you showed there, what it could do to New York and so on. And they say it can't be stopped. I've heard other things about this, and I've been reading what some commentators say, and they say Russia is talking a lot bigger than what they actually have. and that they say that even the Patriot missile defense system can stop these missiles. I don't know what's true, but I do know it's frightening. And even if one of them were to get through, we'd be in serious trouble. So, yeah, it's frightening. But what frightens me is the charts. The charts are telling me, I mean, I'll just look at this again. We went over it briefly yesterday, but I'll just show you now. Now I'm here in person. That basically reasonably long term, we're going back, over a year. We've got an A, B, C higher. This is the capitals. So capital A up, capital B down, and capital C up. Now this is a zigzag correction. So basically the A is made up of 5 waves. The B is a 3-wave move, A, B, C for the B wave. And then the C wave is a 5-wave move, which is probably not yet complete. Not certain, but probably. Looks like we've still got another leg higher to go before it turns around. So that's the long term, longish term. That's the large cycle. So we've got full cycle is a 5-3-5 zigzag. But even within the cycle, the B wave itself is a 5-3-5. So we can see 5 waves down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down for the A wave. We can see a very clear A, B, C up for the B wave. And then we can see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down for the C wave of the larger B wave. So it all fits together. It looks like it's correct. It's a small zigzag within a larger zigzag. But these are both corrective waves. And after a correction, you expect a resumption of the wider trend. So this correction is somewhat higher. So basically, you can see it started here, ended up somewhere up here. So the correction is higher. So it means that the impulsive move is to the downside. And it's looking like dollar is going to really substantially weaken in the weeks or I would say months ahead. Substantially weaken. What's going to cause it? I don't know. And it just worries me when you talk about all this weaponry and missiles that Russia's got, and there's, whether it happens before Biden goes, I don't know. I mean, Biden has been putting a lot of pressure on Israel. I think that's the reason that Israel have entered into this peace treaty with Lebanon.
And they're not even going by it. I mean, they're not letting any of the people go back to their homes. I mean, it's all just a charade anyway. And
it is a charade. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it was for Biden to try and say he's done something. He's actually brokered a peace or something, but I don't think it's going to work. So, so I think things are in a bit of a mess at the moment, in turmoil, and obviously any actions that are going to be taken, I think they'll want to take them before Biden goes. So until January 20th, so not long to go. So there could be a bit of turmoil ahead of that time. So anyway, that's just telling me that potentially we've got a lot of dollar weakness to come. And we looked yesterday, I won't go into them all now, but euro dollar was showing exactly the same pattern, pound dollar, and probably more interesting, we'll just touch on it again briefly, the dollar against the yen, which for me, although we mentioned yesterday about which is the most important constituent of the dollar index, and that's the euro. The euro makes up more than half of the dollar, the basket of currencies against the dollar there. So the euro is the most important in terms of the, it's part of the dollar basket of the basket of currencies. But the most important for me is the dollar against the yen, because that's the carry trade. That's basically where people borrow money from the yen at 0 interest. They invest it into risk assets. So when the markets are going well, and we actually saw a bit of a pullback in the market, this actually equated to this wave 4 here. That was a pullback in the market, and we saw Bitcoin pull back from just shy of 100,000, and we are pushing back up a little bit now. We're back at 97,000 now, and in fact so if we see I know that in the not too distant future, I think we're going to see the Bitcoin and the other cryptos rally much higher. But we've seen some continue to rally. I mean, just look at XRP. Again, we'll look at XRP in a minute. It's absolutely amazing. It seems unstoppable at the moment. But this is telling me 1, 2, 3, 4, once we finish the 5th wave higher. Now, we could have finished the 5th wave. It's possible that within this, there's 5 waves to here. And then this is a final 5th wave. It's possible. But it looks most likely that we've got one more push higher on the dollar against the yen. That would tell us that people are prepared they're basically still borrowing yen and investing in the markets in Bitcoin and so on. So that will push dollar yen higher. But following that, so dollar yen higher, that means stronger dollar, weaker yen. And we've already said that. We've already seen that. I just flipped back just momentarily that we are expecting one more leg higher here in the dollar, the US dollar index. We're expecting another leg higher. And it aligns absolutely perfectly with dollar yen. We're expecting another leg higher. So it's highly likely that both these charts are pointing to it. We're going to get some stronger dollar in the short term. But I just think that there's definitely warning signs out there now telling us that once we get to that peak in the dollar, that we're going to see a massive turnaround. So this is dollar against the yen. So then when you see yen strength, that means people taking the money out of risk assets, out of Bitcoin, piling back in to pay their debt back in the yen. As they pile it back in, the yen strengthens more. And it's a virtuous downward spiral that the more they pile back into the yen, the more dollar yen goes down. And basically, the more people need to cash in risk assets to pay back the yen borrowing. And the Japanese are talking as well about potentially raising interest rates. Maybe that will be the
yeah, that was a mess the last time they did that. Holy smokes, the markets, they hated that.
Absolutely. So
I got hit on that one. I don't know if my stop losses got hit. Whatever. I lost money on that deal. I remember.
Yeah, I think it was a bit unexpected, and it caught a lot of people by surprise. So when it happens again, if and when, I'm sure it will happen again. I mean, inflation is a problem, still a problem. And don't forget, Trump's policies are inflationary. They will cause more inflation. So inflation is going to rear its ugly head even more. And so it is going to become a problem.
He does like to print money. he likes it.
Well, I mean, not just printing money, but virtually every one of Trump's policies are inflationary. So yeah, he wants to reflate the economy to make sure the economy is booming. But inflation is really the most important thing that the Federal Reserve and the FOMC try to keep under control. It's really the most important part of their mandate is to control inflation. But if they can't, if Trump is introducing all these inflationary policies, it'll be a problem. And I have said that the big problem is stagflation, because if you really get inflation getting out of control, they are going to have to raise rates again. That will lower growth, and you're going to get that recession. So again, that could potentially be causing this collapse of the dollar. And
I know you have gold and queued up. We did just get a question, just so you know, about gold. What about gold and silver?
Yeah, well, I'll start doing a bit more on silver in future. I mean, I'll just jump over to gold.
Yeah.
Now to see where we're at. And there we are, gold. Having an amazing day by the look of it so far on the futures. So yeah, gold's gone pretty well as expected. We touched on it yesterday that basically we got, I think, 5 waves down. I mean, probably most likely the wave 1 was here. And we've got some kind of flat wave 2 perhaps. But anyway, wave 3, 4, 5. That was the A wave. We expected in advance this some kind of B wave here. And if you count the waves, it's actually a corrective number. So the B wave almost hit our target, just went slightly beyond our target. But don't forget, we put this, even before the A wave had finished, we gave the target for the B wave. Normally, you need to at least wait for the A wave to finish to do that. So we were pretty close. And then following that B wave up, we got the start of the final C wave down. Now, I think we've got 5 waves down. That's a wave 1. We've got a corrective wave 2. So I think gold is going to see a little bit more downside before we head higher. But bear in mind, longer term, this is an A down, B up, C down. That is corrective. So we should have more new all-time highs to come on gold, but not just yet. For me, I wouldn't be chasing prices from here. I would wait probably for lower prices below the bottom of this A wave and probably quite a bit below. A little bit below, maybe 2.4 possibly, somewhere around there on gold. Before we start to maybe dollar cost average again and start to add to your holding or your position in gold. So I still think gold on the bigger cycles has got higher to go, but short term, I think it's going to be a bit choppy. And if we see some another leg of dollar strength, I think that will probably push gold down, because don't forget, gold is priced in US dollars. If the dollar becomes stronger, then basically you need fewer dollars per ounce of gold. So you'll see your gold price come down effectively. So that could give us the C wave down. But when eventually we start to see the dollar selling off sharply, then I think gold will be probably a great place to be. I mean, don't forget, gold is a traditional hedge against inflation. So I still think that's going to be the case. I know we've got Bitcoin now, new digital gold, but Bitcoin is still much more of a risk asset. It's still very much a mixture of speculative and store of value. So Bitcoin will probably get hit a lot harder than gold if we see any turmoil in the world. So gold will still be seen more as a safe haven than Bitcoin for the time being. What the future holds, who knows? I think maybe, as I've said a number of times in the past, I think Bitcoin will eventually rise out the ashes and become that real safe haven. Because as we've said so many times, Bitcoin can be transferred even if you've got trouble around the world. It's not like gold that you have to put on a plane and very difficult to transport around the world. Bitcoin, you can always transfer it very, very easily, and fractionally as well, because there's so many decimal places. You can transfer and pay for small items with gold. It's used now in many countries, as we've said, in a lot of countries that have financial pressures with their traditional financial system. They're using Bitcoin now. Ordinary people are using Bitcoin to buy day-to-day goods, and that may become more of the norm in the future if we see more financial stresses. I do think we're going to see these stresses around the world, in America and many other places around the world. So I think that gold still definitely should form a really solid part of a foundation of anybody's portfolio. As Markovitz, Nobel Prize winner, said, the most efficient portfolio is a well-diversified portfolio with as many uncorrelated assets as possible. And theory has shown that that's probably optimal number is about 17 assets. Now you try to think of 17 uncorrelated assets. It's not easy, but gold is one of them. You got to think about assets that move differently under these market conditions. So one is basically while one's going up, the other's going down, and they balance each other out a bit. They don't all go up at the same time and don't all go down at the same time. But overall, if you hold a good basket of uncorrelated assets, you'll get the best smooth return over the long term. So that's probably the way to go there. Oil is not really telling us a great deal still. As I say, I think oil is corrective down. We may have further down to go, especially if we get a bit stronger dollar, as we just said. We'll probably see, like gold, oil and gold are actually, there's some correlation between them, although we've not seen it much recently, but long term, there's a bit of correlation there. So I think oil may even see a bit lower oil prices, but following that, when the dollar really devalues, I think we'll see oil go through the roof. So I think it's going to be one of the surprises that nobody is really positioned for. And we note that, like Warren Buffett, when prices are down, nobody wants to buy, but that's the time that you see the reversals. And I think we're going to see the same sort of thing with oil now. If we see oil continue to decline, I think it's going to be the time to jump in, because I think oil will absolutely rally powerfully against most expectations in the not too distant future. So if it does drop lower, I'd be looking to stock up, but in whatever way you want to do it, whether it's through derivatives or whatever, I don't know, but basically looking to buy for a massive rally in oil sometime next year, I believe. So definitely need to keep a close eye on that. Most of the market today is relatively flat. I mean, we've seen Bitcoin, and I think Bitcoin, a little bit like this US dollar, I think if we see some dollar strength, we may see another leg down in Bitcoin. I think we've seen the A wave down, we've got the B wave up, a little bit like gold, really. I think we've still got a C wave down. So actually, it's very similar to the gold chart on this time frame. So I think we've got a C wave down to come. Then following that, we should rally to new all-time highs. That's exactly what I just said for gold. So I think there's pretty good correlation. And we're talking about digital gold. And they're going to actually, over time, I believe, Bruce, they're going to become closer and closer in terms of performance. Because
I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Yeah, because Bitcoin is becoming more and more digital gold. It's talked about just as a name only, but now it's actually fulfilling that role as digital gold store of value. And the fact that the charts are tracking so closely, I think, confirms that story. So again, it's exactly the same charts we saw on gold. I think we probably will see a C wave down like I expect with gold, and then we'll push to new all-time highs. So same thing. Now, XRP has been absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
I still think that, like the rest, we'll probably see some downside. Now, it's confusing people a little bit at the moment because we've pushed above that previous high there, You can see just today we pushed up really, really sharply, but I still see it. And actually, if I put it on a shorter time frame, you'll probably see even better. But we can see from the top 3 waves down, ABC 3 waves down, I think. Even from here, if you just go here, there's 3 waves in this move here. 3 waves down, 3 waves up. So an expanded flat correction, that's 3 down, 3 up, then 5 down. So I would expect, most probably, we might see today the beginning of that 5 waves down. So I do think short term, we'll see lower XRP. But again, just like Bitcoin, just like a lot of others, I think we're going to then push higher. Now we're a long, long way to go to all-time highs for XRP. But I do think we're going to see certainly highs. It's looking really bullish, but just I think short term we might get a 5-wave move down to finish off this 335 flat correction and then push to the upside. And then just to kind of confirm it, we have got here a regular bearish divergence with higher highs on price, lower highs RSI. That's telling you that prices are pushing higher, but there's not really volume to support it. So it's pushing higher on low volume, which is telling you there's not real conviction there. So when it does turn, it could actually turn a little bit sharply, and we could get a little 5-wave move down. As I say, 335 is a flat correction, and then we would push then higher above this level here at 168. So we should push quite well above that. I think I've got a target. I'll just see if I can see it from here. Yeah, my next target to the upside, and it could go beyond this because XRP is one of those tokens that can go crazy. But I've got 196 as the next target. The reason I had that, I think it was a pivot high from a previous price. I'll just see if it shows up. I'd have to go to a much longer time frame to see. I might as well just do it while we're here, just to see where we're getting it from. Yeah, there we are. So that's the 196, previous pivot high back here. So as we're up here right now, that will be the next target to the upside. That will be resistance. Of course, it can break through there. Entirely possible it can break through there. But it's going to be some resistance. It's going to take probably a little bit to break through. Although, as you know, XRP is one of those tokens that does some crazy things. So
no doubt about that.
So that's our target overhead. We're not actually far from it. I mean, 60 to 90 in percentage terms, it's nothing for XRP. Considering what it's done, it's 3x since the Trump election. So, I think we'll get this pull back, but then, pull back to maybe quite a bit lower, maybe the 113 area, somewhere around there. But then we should push and challenge that 196, I believe. Solana's having quite a good day so far, but again, it's similar chart pattern, I believe. I think we've had an A wave down. I think we're working on ABC higher for the B wave. And then I think we'll get a C wave down. That's my preferred count at the moment. That's what I'm expecting. So maybe we'll push higher today, and weekend we'll get the next push down to give us the C wave down. Then I think the correction will be complete, and we'll push then to new all-time highs for Solana, I believe. Ethereum, again, it's been very much in the doldrums. It's not my favorite token. We're so far away from that all-time high. I mean, 4.8, we're 3.5 right now, but who knows? It's looking reasonably bullish at the moment.
Did you see one of the founders transferred about $74 million worth of Ethereum, I think 20,000 Ethereum or something like that, to Kraken yesterday?
Oh, okay. So potentially looking to offload.
It could be anything. He could have just, paid a guy and the guy gave him a Kraken address. You know what I mean? Who knows? But potentially.
That's what they look for, by the way, with on-chain metrics. There's a number of ways you can track on-chain and just see what the movements are. And when people move substantial amounts to an exchange, it's normally a sign of potentially selling off that token. You move it to exchange to sell it off. So it's quite interesting to look. I posted a chart yesterday on X, looking at Bitcoin and looking at people are actually moving off-chain mainly at the moment, I think, which is telling you that people are looking to hodl. So they're moving it away from exchanges at the moment, so looking to hodl. So that's expectation of higher prices to come for Bitcoin. So I do think, even if we get a little correction on Bitcoin, that we are going to push. And as I always quote you now, like a knife through butter, it's going to sail through 100,000 to much higher.
We're so close. I mean, it's really funny. Yeah, I was like sitting there last night, and just we're so close. It's not hard from here.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes it's not hard within touching distance, but it just tries and tries and tries. And I think it's probably going to try and fail again this time round. Maybe it might even just spike slightly above and get people jumping in. But then I still think we're going to get that pullback in the C wave before we really push and slice straight through to much higher highs, well into the hundreds, maybe quite well into the hundreds. So it's going to be challenging to get past the 100 properly. And as I say, we might try and fail, but I think then it's pretty well nailed on. It's going to push through. Bitcoin is looking really bullish. All the flows are looking good. As I say, people are moving away from exchanges off chains. They're not looking to sell it anytime soon. We're seeing great flows into the ETF. We're seeing more and more talk. And who knows, if government do start to use Bitcoin as a store of value, then again, the sky's the limit. So, absolutely amazing. That's mostly it for today. I mean, we're seeing generally flat to nice movement across the board. We saw maybe RLB is seeing, I mentioned that the other day, seeing a bit of profit taking because we had such an amazing move from 6 cents to 13 cents. It had 100% in just less than a week. So always you're going to get a bit of a pullback, and I think that's what we're seeing probably with the Trump pump overall for cryptocurrency. We're seeing that bit of a pullback. Probably one I should just touch before we go, SPX. Because I know a lot of people follow SPX. So again, we're toying with all-time highs there. But again, we did mention that we've got this regular bearish divergence, both long-term regular bearish and short-term regular bearish with higher highs price, lower highs RSI. That told us price was about to turn from here. It's precisely what happened. We're seeing the futures down, I think, today. So we may start to see that bit of a pullback. And again, it all fits together. The piece of the jigsaw fit together nicely, Bruce. So we've got the dollar index potentially pushing a bit higher. We may have a bit of a C wave pullback on a lot of the cryptos. And it looks like we're probably going to get that on SPX. Not quite sure what the reasons are behind it all. I mean, I know there's not an awful lot of economic news out at the moment. So maybe it's just a bit of a concern about what might happen geopolitically, or maybe it's just a bit of profit taking. With the Trump pump, people have got to be taking profits. And again, I don't believe Trump is going to be able to deliver everything he said he's going to deliver. So there's going to be some disappointment at some point, and we'll just see how that plays out.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So that's about it for today. I think we've had a good run through most of the things. So
amazing.
It's weekend already. So
yes.
So enjoy the weekend, and let's get back on Monday refreshed and see where the markets are going from there.
Sounds good, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bruce.
Amazing.
Thank you, everybody, and have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Cheers. The great Matt Dixon with the Market Watch Report, world-class analysis that we have here. Of course, the markets continue to move, especially the crypto markets continue to move up at this point. Trade carefully, use your stop losses. There is a lot of money to be made. And, we just got a message in. Clickbait is the UFO and the nuke news. The UFO, let me talk about the UFOs. Thanks for bringing it up. And the nuke news, of course, is Putin. But we can talk more about that. But the UFOs over the Capitol, over the U.S. Capitol, is pretty interesting here. U.S. Capitol, because, of course, they're saying, oh, it's the lens and this and that and the other stuff. But do you tell me, what do you think this is? I mean, I don't think this looks like a lens. And, of course, Congress just last week was talking about the UFOs. Okay, UFO or lens flare. Viral video from the U.S. Capitol building sparks alien panic. Viral clip shows 4 lights hovering above the Capitol dome this week and have sparked wild speculation about extraterrestrial activity. Let's start that again. Here we go. So I'm here in the U.S. Capitol. So this is interesting. Those don't look like lens flares to me. And they were officially unidentified. And what are they? I mean, those aren't planes. Of course, we have the Ronald Reagan Airport here, DCA. That's where everybody flies in. Of course, there's Dulles as well, IAD, which is not a bad airport to fly in. But those are probably UFOs. That's what those are. So in here he's got a shot. I mean, I don't know. What do you think they are? I enhanced the original photo. Definitely has real objects, mysterious lights over the Capitol Hill cause UFO panic in DC. It's already happening. So it's interesting. The picture is a glare. See, community notes. It's a glare off the lens of the camera from the street below, which is cropped out. It has the same spacing. Well, let's look at see what they have here. We're live, folks. We are live. Let's share this tab instead. Oof, took away my... Oh, yeah, see this guy. He thinks he has it all figured out. Maybe so. All right, well, there you go, folks. Maybe it's solved. Maybe we solved it right here on the show. I don't know, though. That looks... I mean, the thing about what this guy is saying is this, of course, is still shot. I mean, I don't know, maybe. Is that the same shot? Let's look back here on their video again here. I mean, what is this person even talking about? That's not the same shot. Look at the video. The lights don't line up. I agree. And look, the video shows nothing about this. Let's look at this. So here's the picture they're saying. Of course, community notes. Community notes is so funny. The community noted me the other day on a Mandela effect. How in the world can you community note people saying that they're experiencing a Mandela effect? By definition, experiencing a Mandela effect is people experience something differently. Anyway, whatever. Community notes is great. It's great, but it is pretty funny. So yeah, that's the UFO stuff. Thanks for bringing that up, by the way. And then the nuclear stuff. I mean, I don't know. I was looking at some of these weaponry that Putin has or that Russia has, man, and it's really frightening. I mean, I'll show you. This is, I don't know if you've seen Satan. Satan is this thing is capable of delivering nuclear warheads. This is Satan right here. Look at this thing. Look at this thing right here.
Satan is the name of the Russian intercontinental ballistic missile. It is in every respect the most powerful missile in the world, weighing more than 210 tons and over 34 meters long. The missile system with this ICBM is designed to hit all kinds of targets, including those protected by modern missile defenses. The flight speed of this missile reaches more than 5 miles per second, which provides it with the ability to fly from Moscow to New York in 18 minutes. An important advantage is the ability to use separable warheads and maneuverable monoblock warheads. On board, one missile can be 10 warheads with a power of 55 kilotons, and then the missile can fly 7,000 miles, which is almost equal to the diameter of the Earth. If 10 such warheads attack New York City, it would have a target area of more than 1,000 square miles and would kill about 5 million people. Or there could be one more powerful nuclear warhead on board, 20 megatons, in which which case the missile could travel 10,000 miles, which exceeds the diameter of the Earth by as much as a third. If a 20-megaton nuclear warhead attacks New York, it could look like this. A massive nuclear explosion would kill about 5 million people, and the fallout would travel up the entire coast and reach the Canadian border. The power of a salvo by a division of the Strategic Missile Forces armed with Satan is equal to the 13,000 bombs detonated at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. 15 missiles of the complex were guaranteed to destroy the entire industrial potential of the United States.
And then if you look at this one here, so that's Satan. Now, if we cruise on over here, this is one of their, this one, the Poseidon, is a Russian next-generation weapon officially known as the Status 6 Oceanic Multi-Purpose System. I won't read all that right now. Let's see if we have sound on this one. If not, I'll read it. And just look at what this thing doing. Of course, we have nuclear warheads on this. This is Poseidon. Poseidon is an intercontinental nuclear-powered, nuclear-armed autonomous torpedo. It's described as a giant torpedo with the capability to hit coastal cities with devastating results. Unlike traditional torpedoes, it's powered by a nuclear reactor, giving it virtually unlimited range. The primary mission is not to engage military targets, but to create catastrophic damage by either causing a radioactive tsunami or by a direct nuclear attack on coastal cities. And here we are, again, playing Russian roulette. So I'll read that again. So the Poseidon is an intercontinental nuclear-powered, nuclear-armed, autonomous torpedo. It's powered by a nuclear reactor, giving it virtually unlimited range. Its primary mission is not to engage military targets directly, but to create catastrophic damage by either causing a radioactive tsunami or by direct nuclear attack on a coastal infrastructure. It is a bad weapon. Both of these bad weapons. And of course, Biden's not even really in charge. Of course, the administrative state or deep state, whatever you want to call them, is in charge, and they are really pushing for this world war. They want to make sure that Ukraine is so far into this war that they can't get out of it, and Trump's stuck with it. Or whatever. And you see the same thing kind of over there in the Middle East. They're like, okay, well, this war with Lebanon, we're not going to be able to, this is going to obviously go away. That'll be easy for Trump to stop. So let's go concentrate on Assad. Let's inflame what's going on over there even more. And put the U.S. in a situation that they can't get out of over there in the Middle East. And that's the whole thing. I mean, these people, it's big, big money. I went to the largest arms trade show conference here in the U.S. last year, and it was amazing. It's not my first time, but it's amazing. And then I just saw Iran, of course. I saw the videos and everything come out of there of the arms conference in Pakistan. And war is big, big business. It's big business. The missiles that you just saw and the underwater thing there, whatever they call them, from Russia. I mean, those things cost so much money to develop and deploy. Big, big money. Anyway, we're at the end of our show. We love doing the show. We're having a lot of fun with it. We are growing a lot. We're expanding our TV range right now. We are on TV in Texas and Louisiana. That is growing a lot. Of course, we continue to stream the show. We will be in Hong Kong at Consensus Hong Kong. Let me make sure I give a shout out there. Consensus Hong Kong. You can get your tickets here today. Use code Bruce15, get a 15% discount. We are looking forward to that. Already talking to different people that will be there as well, putting together some strategic partnerships. And we may throw one of our signature events as well. We'll see how that works out. Yeah, you got it, brother. Always a pleasure, man. We do it every morning, Monday through Friday or afternoon, depending on where you are. 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But Consensus is a massive event. And it's a massive event here in the U.S. Of course, it was New York at first. Then it's Austin. Austin's more of a party city, party town. A lot of fun. We did one of our galas there. So when they said they're doing Hong Kong, I said, let's hop on it. So if you're in Asia, you should come and meet us in Hong Kong. If you're in the U.S., you should come as well. One of the ways that I built a career for myself was going to places around the world with access to this massive U.S. market that we have here. So if that's you, you may want to consider coming to Consensus Hong Kong, because those people over there, they want access to the U.S. market. So you got to think how to position yourself in order to do it. They want access, you have access, right? If you're an American, or maybe you have a passport. Many people around the world just have a passport. As well, I wanted to give a shout out to my friends, because we are really just going bonkers. Algorand just continues to go ballistic. It seems like there's no end in sight. It seems like Algorand is going to slice like a hot knife through butter directly up to Algorand. Directly up to $1. From 8 cents. It was 8 cents just a couple months ago. Impressive moves from Algorand. Besides XLM or XRP, I mean, this has been the top performing, one of the top performing assets, especially for the major market cap. Algorand. I know one of my buddies, at least one of my buddies, loaded up on that, and he is real happy right now. He's 3x'd probably. Now, as well, Dalgo is that's basically the signature meme coin on the Algorand network. Full disclosure, of course, I am a major holder of Dalgo. I get paid to do this stuff. Not financial advice and all that jazz I'm supposed to say, but Dalgo is really doing well. And the way it works, I talk about it, but the Polka Gold started Dalgo. So Polka Gold, you see Polka Gold, 11 cents. Look at this. Back over, well over $1 million market cap, $1.1 million market cap. My good friends at Polka Gold doing really well here. Polka Gold. So Polka Gold, and I've talked about it many times, started by Algorand and Polkadot whales. They locked and burned the liquidity early on. And as Algorand just continues to blast into the stratosphere, I believe you will see this continue, because it doesn't have much choice. Doesn't have a whole lot of choice. So Polka Gold right now has $1.1 million market cap. A lot of room to grow there, in my opinion. Vestige. This I can get a good reading on the $390,000 market cap right now on Dalgo. I think this can go a lot higher, folks. I think it will go a lot higher. Check them out. My good friends there at Polka Gold and Dalgo. Get your tickets for Hong Kong. Consensus Hong Kong. Going to be a lot of fun. And I am out of here. We'll be back on your TV in about 5 hours. Cheers.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost. Become a champion of free speech. and help to reshape the future of media.